2年間を無駄にした。日本語の学習を始めてから2年間が経ったのに会話力が全くなかった。毎日日本語について動画見まくってたのに、毎週の日本語の授業そんなに頑張ってたのに、なんで一言も言えないんだよ。はいどうも、トメックです。今日はですね、日本語の勉強を頑張ってるのになかなか成長見えへん、そんなあなたに向けてこの動画を撮ります。So I coach people on how to learn Japanese effectively in my Japanese program, which is the first link in the description, and two of my clients had a very similar situation now. They both wanted to learn Japanese and try to learn Japanese for quite some time. One of them tried for 9 years, the other for 1.5. They both did it for the sake of connecting with their close ones, whether that be family, girlfriend, wife, whatever. But they were both very busy. Business, work, and so they don't have that much time to study Japanese, right? But they still tried, which is very admirable, right? But what's the sad part is that they basically made no progress whatsoever. Both of them have very limited time to study Japanese, and so what is a logical thing to do? They try to find a less time consuming method, and kind of what is that method, right? It's usually apps like Duolingo. It's some online program, maybe classes which only take like an hour a week, which is not that much. And so they try to learn Japanese that way without much effect. And so if you feel like you can relate to that, like you've been studying Japanese for a couple months, 1, 2 years, 3 years maybe even, and you still don't see pretty much any progress, even though you obsess over trying to learn it every single day, you might have fallen, similarly to my clients, for the language learning instant gratification. What is it, you might ask? Well, instant gratification in its essence is rewarding yourself right now, but sacrificing a possibly bigger reward in the future. And so, in the sense of language learning Japanese, it looks like taking a shortcut using a less time consuming method like Duolingo or like other app which promises you'll be fluent in less than 20 minutes a day, which is pretty much a fucking life, I'ma be honest. But for somebody with zero language learning knowledge, seeing a new app promising you this, the app is well laid out, it's fun to learn with it, it feels like, okay, I'm learning, I'm having fun as well, and it doesn't take that much time from my day. But 1 month passes, 3 months pass, 6, 1 year, 5 years, to have a 5 year streak on Duolingo, and you still cannot speak that language, something must be wrong. So what happens is, you feel like you're making progress, right? You progress onto the next chapter, you did a new lesson, you know this much words, you did onto the next lesson in Duolingo, but you're actually not gaining any real knowledge. You're only progressing in Duolingo, so you only get kind of better at doing the exercises in Duolingo. It's similar with flashcards. People think, okay, I can learn 30 new words a day. It would take me what, like half an hour, 40 minutes. Take that in a month. In a month, I'll know 900, practically 1,000 words. In a year, that'll be 10,000 words. That's quite a lot. I'll pretty much be fluent, right? But what happens is, with such a short time dedicated to studying Japanese, yeah, you might have 10,000 cards on Anki, but your knowledge, your ability to use those words is pretty much non-existent. For these methods to really have an effect, you need to have a strong basis, kind of like the glue that holds these words together, which is a bunch of immersion, hundreds and thousands of hours of listening to Japanese, which is very time taking. So what should you do, right? Immersion learning takes quite a long time, right? Couple hours every single day you have to listen to Japanese to even get any good at the language. In my opinion, you just have to bite the bullet. Because if you don't, like imagine this, even if you have only 1 hour a day, that 1 hour, you pretty much 90% of it, like 50 minutes, you should spend immersing, because that's where most of your language progress will actually come from. Any other method, like doing drama drills, flashcards, writing, speaking to yourself in the mirror, will have pretty much zero effect if you don't immerse enough. Think about it. I'm going to explain to you kind of logically why that is the case, that you always need that immersion. So, Language is, in its essence, a tool to communicate with people. So, listening to a language, for example, you listen to a conversation of two people speaking Japanese, you see two people communicating with each other using the language how it is supposed to be used. And so, what happens when you study only with Anki, only with like short methods like Duolingo? You pretty much learn everything around the language apart from its actual use in practice in real life situations. And so if you're very busy, if you only have 2 hours free a day to study Japanese, 1 hour maybe even, you need to craft your routine in a way that the amount of words, the kind of outside study, doesn't outweigh the actual you listening to Japanese, you actually immersing. If you're still kind of confused on how this would really work, how it would apply it to your own life, what materials to use, I can help you with that. I can help you create that routine, like a roadmap for your specific situation to learn Japanese, which is what I do for my clients in my Japanese IQ program, which you can join by clicking the link in the description. It's really quite nice. A lot of people joined it. I gave them pretty much the step-by-step process on what they should do to learn Japanese as effectively as possible in their specific situation. So really recommend it, you can check it out, maybe you're interested. There is one thing that a lot of people get wrong and they still don't manage to get fluent using this method is that when you only have, let's say, 2 hours a day to study, if you only do immersion from day one, it will really take a long time for you to achieve any level of comprehension and for the comprehensible input to actually appear, for you to actually acquire language. And so what I tell my students, one of my students has like 10 hours a day free, so I tell him, yeah, mostly spend this time immersing, yeah, because he'll develop an amazing accent this way, he will learn a lot of natural speech, and he will receive comprehensible input just from extensively listening to Japanese. But for other people who have, let's say, 1 hour to sit down study Japanese, I tell them, okay, immerse, have that still as a priority, as your basis, but you need to create your kind of foundation of Japanese in a different way. You can use this book called Takim's Guide to Learning Japanese, which is an amazing resource. Outside of that, still use flashcards, but limit the time you spend on Anki, let's say, to maybe 20 minutes a day, so you don't waste that much time. And so balance the traditional methods of learning about grammar, learning flashcards, new vocab, and so on, with the based method, the natural acquisition, which is immersion, because this is actually what will blow up your fluency. When you finally combine all of this that we've discussed today, you will see significant progress week by week, month by month, and you'll finally enjoy learning Japanese, and it will be motivating when you realize, oh, I understand this, oh, I understand that. If you want my help to achieve that level even faster, first in the description, my online program. Go and take a look. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.